at Kairaftuni, or Keiraftanu, which is a Shabbaton, which is amazing. It was started by a dear friend, an incredible person, the head of Mishkan Yecheskel, Reb Chesky Kaufteil, and one of the many projects that he spearheaded for Klal Yisrael, and he's behind so many projects, it should be a schus for him and his family. And there was a speaker there, Rabbi Breyer, and he said over this amazing, incredible thing in Yiddish, so I'm going to repeat it in English for those who didn't understand. There was a kid, about 17 years old, Matzah Shabbos, he tells his parents, I need to speak to you. Parents come in the room, what's going on? He looks very sad, he says, listen, I have some terrible news for you. I'm done with Yiddishkeit. I'm going OTD, off the derech, I'm done. I'm not interested, I'm not religious, I'm not learning, I'm not going back to yeshiva. So, what's going on? We didn't see anything coming. When did this happen? I don't want to talk about it. Listen, don't make such a drastic move. Maybe we'll go speak to an askin. Someone's going to speak to you. Maybe you need therapy. I'm not speaking to anybody. I'm done with this whole thing. Done. They were heartbroken. They were crying a whole night, saying Tehillim. They didn't know what to do. Sunday morning, the father is expecting the worst. Who knows what he's going to look like and what he's going to do. And he sees his son somehow. He sees him getting up and going to Shacharis. Hat, jacket, tefillin. So he figures, okay, maybe he wants to get one last Shacharis in and then he'll go off the derech. So he's like, okay, bye, see you, and then unbelievable, later he comes back from Shacharis and he's going to yeshiva. Incredible, he's going to yeshiva, he stays a whole day in yeshiva, he comes back at night, he figures, okay, maybe this is going to happen now, maybe he wants to say goodbye to his friends. And he's just like, can you imagine the anxiety waiting for this thing to shatter? And he comes home and, no problem. He's going back for night seder and he's going to Mincha and he's going to Maariv. And then at night, they're just like waiting. And then you see him saying Shema and they can't figure out what's happening. And the next day, the same thing. He goes to Shacharis and then he goes to Yeshiva. And he seems to be in a good mood and, and it's unbelievable. He comes home, Mincha, Maariv, he's learning, he's making a bracha. They saw him wash. They thought he wouldn't wash. They saw him bench. After a couple more days, the father says, I don't understand. Didn't you tell us Matzah Shabbos that you're going off the derech and you're done with this? He said, yeah, I am. I'm off the derech. He says, what do you mean you're off the derech? You got up for Shacharis, you davened, you went to yeshiva, you learned. I called to ask your Rebbe, he said, you were learning, you came back, you went to Mincha, you went to Maariv, you benched, you said Shema at night, and he said, listening, everything, what do you mean? He goes, no, I'm off the derech. He goes, what are you talking about? Look how many things you're doing so much. He says, when I was on the derech, all you notice is what I wasn't doing good enough. But since I went off the derech, you notice everything that I'm doing good. It's a very powerful lesson. Very powerful lesson. We have to remember to be idud, encouragement for our children. Encouragement for our children. Sometimes they're not doing as good as they can. You have to be careful to learn how to motivate and what motivates children. And it's not being angry at them. And it's not pulling their covers off if they don't get up. It's not being violent. It's not being overly. There are tools and you have to learn. But we have to make sure that they shouldn't think that, like, if I go off the derech, then you'll appreciate everything that I'm doing. But from regular kid, all of a sudden, all you notice about me is what I'm not doing good enough. Good lesson.